Hi, this is the Bratz Boyz Club, and I am Jesse. And today I'm going to introduce you to another one of my Bratz Boys. This one is, I wouldn't say very special, but he is from a collection that I wasn't really considering at all. It just happened so that my friend from the website I was using at the beginning of this year, the seller's website, they messaged me and then they asked me if I wanted to purchase this Bratz Boy, as they found it and it was available for purchase as a collectible. I took one look at the photo and I decided I definitely wanted to add him to my ever-growing collection of Bratz Boyz dolls. And so, without further ado, this is Cameron, and he is from the 2004 Funk Out collection and or series. Let me see if I said that right. Yep, Funk Out collection and or series from 2004. I'm not really familiar with this series at all, which is why I'm going to use the fandom page that I have here in front of me. Um, Pretty much, we're looking at the same kind of Bratz Boys like the ones I purchased back in 2005, the first five Bratz Boys. Um, and it's pretty much the same. It's early 2000s. MGA has a lot of money to invest in the Bratz, specifically the Bratz girls, but also the Bratz Boys. So you're going to have a Bratz Boy with an incredible looking box. This is not a specialty box because it's not a specialty collection in our series like some other collections in our series, but it's like the box that my first five Bratz Boys came in back in 2005. However, like I said, this is a 2004 retail Bratz Boy, and the Funk Out collection is from 2004. So this is a year before my 2005 first five Bratz Boys. So I believe that even the style is very similar. Um, I really, like I said, I really was not into the Funk Out collection in our series. It was okay, but it wasn't something that I was really attracted to. There was a specific reason as to why I was very attracted to the 2005 Rocket collection, and then of course the other two that I purchased alongside the three Rocket collection Bratz Boys. Um, but um, but this one in particular wasn't really like very big with me back then. I don't really think I saw it on the shelf either, but it was available, like I'm reading here in the fandom page, for the year 2004. And this is Cameron from the Funka collection from 2004. And it looks like I was saying, he comes in with everything, just like my first five Bratz Boys did. The box is the same, identical. It will have a little banner on the side of the box, which in this case is my left side when you're looking at the box face over to you, or the right side, which is when you're looking at the box from behind the box. So it'll have a banner on the side of the box letting you know the series name or collection, and you'll see that it has, just like all the other Bratz Boys from collections like these, you'll get a Bratz Boy with really awesome clothing that he's wearing. He will have extra accessories like a little bag. Let me get that closer to you, to the camera. And you will also have, maybe depending on what they want the Bratz Boy to wear, you'll have extra accessories like the sunglasses and the little cap. That is another reason why I kind of fell in love with him when I received the photo from my seller friend from the seller's website that I frequented earlier this year. I saw Cameron wearing a cap, which looks like to be navy blue, which is the dark kind of blue, and I went crazy because I wanted to get my hands on a Cameron from the early 2000s who was wearing a cap, aside from the 2002, because of course it's, like I said, the 2004. So I saw him, I went crazy, I wanted to buy him, and of course, the box, once again, was opened. And the seller did tell me that, and I believe it was this side only. This side was fine, it was closed. The little dots are still there. The little dots are here too, but they were loose, so I uh, re-added them to the side of the box, and then I passed it over with a clear slip of tape that I have so I could make sure they're secure. Um, but it's the same. It's the same. It gets the same treatment as most, if not all, of the early 2000s Bratz Boys. You get your extra accessories and your extra clothing, extra pair of clothing right there. You can see the little jeans with the large, gigantuan pockets, and the little belt in the jeans. And you can see that little, looks like a little turtleneck sweater. Actually, not turtleneck, just a regular red sweater right there. And I believe he's wearing a sweater as well. And then his, of course, he's wearing his little pants that matches the little book bag color. And then you get the extra little shoes right there. Let me tilt this just a little bit. And then, of course, luckily, this one, it looks like the comb is still right there. Let me get this closer to the camera. Right there. That's the comb right there. And it looks like it's not loose yet. It's about to get loose. Most of these, like I said, they have the comb loose and all over the place. So it's really hard to keep the comb from getting loose, or to get one with a comb that's not loose. This one looks like it has the comb right there, still stuck right now for the moment. So, but everything else is the same, especially the ones that I purchased in the 2005 year. They have just, the one pair of clothing, the Bratz Boy with its pair of clothing that he's wearing, and then of course any extra accessories like sunglasses, a cap, if there is one available for it. And they usually had, and I love that some of these, or most of them, had their trademark accessory, which was always some kind of book bag or some kind of bag that they were holding on to. That was really neat. I think most of them, if not all of them, had it. And of course, like I said before, they also had the comb, the legendary, the trademark comb of the Bratz Boy. These, and I wanted to make that point, which I think I made this point in some of my other videos. In the early 2000s, the Bratz Boys had real hair, and when I say real hair, I'm talking about the hair that they have on the side of the head, as opposed to not just at the top. They usually have a style of hair at the top, which sometimes is longer, sometimes it's a buzz cut, and that was usually the real hair. For the early 2000s, and also the hair on the sides. After the early 2000s, more like mid 2000s, you had the Bratz Boys with the real hair on the top, and then the painted side, because it was usually shaved or something like that, I believe. They gave them hairstyles that would require only there to be a straight fade, which was paint, and then the top, which was real hair. These were early 2000s Bratz Boys. So if I'm getting, let me get this close over here to the camera. You probably can't notice it or see it. I would have to put the light on in there. But back in the day, most of these, there we go. I think I can get that close enough. Most of these in the early 2000s, you were able to get them with real hair on the top and real hair for the straight fade on the sides. So you got the hair that was actually real here on the sides. And I have quite a few of them like that. Unfortunately, because of the money problems for MGA, and the fact these were no longer as popular as they were before, both because of they had money issues, both because of their legal issues and the fact that they weren't something that was selling off like it used to. They had to kind of hold back when it came to spending. But so these were the best when it came to quality. They had real hair on the sides, on the straight fade, and then they had real hair at the top to do the style and trendy hairstyle they had for that era. I believe that for everything else it was painted, like eyes and everything else. But other than that, the hair kind of thing was kind of real, which is something I really, really love till this day. Because the ones I have real hair everywhere. And I believe also the 20th anniversary, 20 years of Bratz Cameron that I purchased last year also has some kind of real straight fade hair on the side that doesn't look as good and as real as these, for example. But it still does. It still does has something, and so it kind of looks almost as cool. But these had hair from both the straight fade and the top style that looked amazing. It just looked incredible. I just completely loved it. So like I was saying, this is exactly the same. This is exactly what you would see in the early 2000s. You would get a box, almost identical shape as all the other boxes, unless it was a specific specialty kind of collection or series. You would get one pair of clothing, you would get another pair of shoes, footwear, which are actually detachable feet. And then you would get the Bratz Boy with the clothing he was wearing, with his little bag, sometimes trademark, and then his little footwear, and then the comb. Of course, there's extra accessories sometimes, like sunglasses or little caps or hats or whatever. Sometimes not, but you got everything. And I believe these back in the day were around the prices of $13.99 or $12.99. I believe I got mine respectively for the price of $13.99. My first 5 Bratz Boys. Each one was $13.99, and I believe I bought my first 5 at our local Toys R Us store. This one, of course, I purchased a few days ago as a collector's item, as a collector's Bratz Boyz doll. So a collector's price is going to be a lot, sometimes a lot more than your retail price. In this case, because it was from my friend, the seller and collector from the seller's website that I frequented, and I've started frequenting this year, at the beginning of this year, they sold me him for, I believe, maybe $10 more than my 20th anniversary, 20 years of Bratz Boy Cameron that I bought at the store for $25.99. So technically, this as a collector was very cheap. I purchased him as a collection piece for a very, very cheap. From purchasing that other retail Cameron of the 20th anniversary at $25, $26, and this one at $35, not to mention it's gonna be 20 years old in 2 more years. I believe I did a good purchase. Besides, I really don't have this version of Cameron. This is the only Funk Out Cameron version of Cameron that I have, or in general. I don't have any other Bratz Boys for the Funk Out collection, and I believe, according to the box, there is Kobe, Aiden, and Dylan for the Funk Out. So there's 4 of them for the 2004 Funk Out collection. I'm going to turn him over so you can take a look at the side. So there you go. You can see him close up and close. His hair also. Hopefully it's a little bit clear. And here he is. I'm going to put him closer. There we go. You can see a little bit right here. It should also, I believe it has the retail year at the bottom. Once I do that, once I tilt him over, you will get to see that. And so this is the 2004 Funk Out Cameron from the Funk Out collection in their series. So that was one of the reasons why I kind of liked him, because of the cap. The cap is just, it looks awesome. And of course, he was wearing a cap in the other 2 series, but I still thought, well, he still looks pretty awesome, pretty cool. And I love the cap and the bag. Also, the pants are amazing. I love the fact that they are kind of baggy, and back in the day they were kind of in that style. They were kind of not loose, but they were like thick on the legs, and the pockets are kind of huge. We kind of were wearing our pants like that back then. And of course, this being from the early 2000s, we were still carrying on that trend. So that's another thing that kind of got my attention to him. I believe another one of my Camerons from the early 2000s, I believe my 2002s, they have a pair of pants of jeans that look just like that. You know, white pant-legged with large pockets. So there's another. That's another reason why I'm so attracted to these. They just look amazing, and I just cannot get enough of their style. Let me turn this thing on. Let's see if I can get it on. There we go. Yeah, this thing just keeps on turning off. Let's see. It keeps moving around. So yes, this is my Cameron, and of course, like I said, this seller has an incredible way with their boxes. A shout out to them. You are incredible. You send me the coolest Bratz Boyz with the coolest boxes ever. This box, like I mentioned earlier in the video, the only problem was that this side of the box, this little flap thingy, was open, so I had to retape it with 3 pieces of clear tape, and then that was it. It was perfect from then on. And other than that, the box itself is excellent. It's clean, it's glossy, it's clear. It doesn't have any weird color to it. It's just amazing. It looks very glossy, very sparkly, very shiny. Wear and tear to it is non-existent. I really love the way it looks. It's got like almost no wear and tear. I see in the light just a little bit of some kind of little, some kind of like scratch stuff that looks like very thick, but that's pretty much it. Let me do the tilt now, and here he is. So this is the top of the box, and I'm going to pass it over so you can see the clothing, accessories, and the Bratz Boy from the top. So I am excited. I'm so thrilled about this one also. Yes, like I was saying about the box is incredible. God, that thing just goes to sleep again. It's incredible. This person just, I don't know what they do with their Bratz Boyz, where they keep them, but they look just epic. The boxes look incredible. They look like store-bought. And it looks like, I think there's a poster in there as well. I mean, most of these had a poster. So they had a Bratz Boy poster. So here's the other bottom side. There's the other side of the box, the bottom side. And I think you can see the year there. It says 2004. I think you can see it. And you can see the Bratz Boyz logo and the Bratz Boy picture photo at the bottom of Cameron with the MGA letter logo as well. And some phone numbers and some extra stuff. So there it goes. There's the bottom of the box. And so that is it for the 2004 Funk Out Cameron collection. And I believe, let me add this because I'm looking at the fandom page right here. And it looks like for the Funk Out collection, the Funk Out collection of 2004, there are 3, count them, 3 versions of Cameron. There's a first version, or what they call first volume Cameron, and then there's a second volume or version of Cameron, and then there's a third version or volume of Cameron. Mine, this one in particular, is the version or volume number 2. Is the one that is wearing this pair of clothing with this cap, these sunglasses, and has these accessory extra clothing, and then these sneakers. The other ones are wearing something different. I believe that I was trying to get my hands on the Funk Out version 3 or volume 3 Cameron, but I was never able to. So maybe in the future I will probably try again. It's not really necessary. He looks very similar to some of the other ones I already have. But he is, like I said, volume or version number 2 from the 2004 Funk Out collection or series. So I just wanted to make that distinction because according to the fandom page, there are 3 Cameron versions or volumes for this collection or series of 2004. And of course, this being volume 2 or version 2 of Cameron. I just really, really love the way he looks so sexy and those eyes and that smile and that hair and the cap. God, he looks so sexy and cute. The box. I can't get over the box and how perfect the box is. So here is the back of the box. Once again, it gives you the picture photo of Cameron, the sexy stud Bratz boy that I love so much. And it gives you a introduction, a little tiny introduction to his story. You'll see the Bratz Boy logo at the very top. So, and then at the very bottom, it'll give you some little bit description there, and it'll give you the girls that will be included in the series, but I don't care about that. And it'll give you the boys, the Bratz Boys, the ones who will be in this series, the ones in this series, which, like I said, from what I'm looking at here, is Kobe, Aiton, Dylan, and Cameron. And you can see that Cameron is the one wearing that kind of clothing, which is the one I've got in the box. So you can see who's going to be in this collection and her series just from looking at the box in the back. And that was the box in the back. I'm going to turn him over again. And so here he is. And I am just so happy to have added him to my ever growing collection of Bratz Boys, which seems to never stop growing, ever. So this was it. This was the video for the 2004 Funk Out Cameron, which he seems to be Cameron version or volume number 2 of the Funk Out collection of 2004. And I am so happy to have introduced him to you, and I'm really glad you've met him. And I'll be uploading another video with another one of my Bratz Boys pretty soon. So hopefully you're back here and watching that other video and being introduced to my other new Bratz Boy. I thank you so much if you do stop by, or if you did stop by to watch this video. And I'm hoping to see you again in my next video. Thank you so much, and see you then.